So gu hai min ji cho Ken Martin no New York orในตัวลูกเมงมอเยอะตัว chairman ยันตัว Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor ละชี DFL Party นอนนี่ตัวลูกเมงมอเนาะรอเท่าอ้อพาเก้าอี้รอโตนี่นู้นเนาะนี่เยอะตัวรอตัวลูกเมงมอเนาะเตะชับเลยชั่วเล่งชั่วตัวnữ dân là vì nữ mua lúc sẽ đâu sẽ trong và cho lên cho tù hoàn toàn nhẹ thế sau nữ thia thôi nếu mà cô ý trong nữ mua lúc chơi còn tới của Eden Perry High School nó Ken ba ít tụi sinh của Paul Wilson kia cho lúc mình mò Senate thì thầu nữ ba từ Senator Wilson nó nữ cá chế hai tiền nữ tụ khen nữ lúc họ phía yo yo là mù kia và nó chú li từ Senator nó thia nữ chính xét tao hai tiền yo hai tiền bé sờ đầu vô rong bé sờ đầu yên vô rong nè nữ yên quan tao giả lo là nữ yên ba tao từ quốc thanh là she president một đội cho governor thia nữ yên ba hai tiền có bé lu tết thờ bé nhỏ nọ là tết tết đê có khu cho bé cho ôn nhớ gì cho lên cho tù khi nó nhưng hai mấy sư từ khi mà ní giờ ít lúc nên chỉnh chỉnh mua mình mỏ sẽ lo sẽ rong ô tô cùng bé cho nó nọ thì này đó cái sẽ đồng bộ tê nó cho tao chạy Ken Martin.
I want to also thank Tuyur Mua, the owner of Unison, for opening up this wonderful ballroom for this event tonight. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Wang Yu, his wife Mai Chi, Chu Vu, Danny Lee, Victoria Her, Nunchi, all of the wonderful members and board members of the Hmong Caucus for their work in not only establishing the caucus, but really this wonderful event tonight to kick off all the work that they're going to do to help build this caucus for the years to come. You know, I'm struck today that today is the 17th anniversary of my friend and mentor Paul Wellstone's untimely death. And that year, of course, 15 days after that tragic loss, we suffered amazing election losses up and down the ballot, only adding to the grief that so many of us were facing that year. But I remembered as I was gathering here earlier that we started that year, as some of you remember, because you were there with me on January 29th of 2002, when Minnesota made history and elected the first Hmong member to the state Senate, when we elected Senator Hmoob to the state Senate here in this district in '67. And wow, what an amazing journey it's been since 2002 for the Hmong community here in Minnesota. When you think about in the state legislature, we went from one Hmong member, Senator Her, who is here, we went from one Hmong member to now having 6 Hmong members in the state legislature. Senator Fong Her, my college classmates, the University of Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Representative Fu Lee, who I don't think is here, Representative Jay Zhang, Representative Samantha Vang, Representative Kali Her, and of course Representative Tu Zhang, who I know is here. Where's Tu at? Somewhere. He was here earlier. Thank you so much for all of your work in the legislature. But when I think about this journey, I think about what has always made America great. We have someone in the White House who talks about what's made America great, and that we need to make America great again. Yet, each step of the way during his presidency, he's turned his back, and the Republican Party have turned their backs on what has always made this country great. You see, we are a nation of immigrants, unless you are like my friend Jamie Becker Finn and others who were here first, the Native community. All of us in this room came here. Our ancestors came here for one simple reason: to make a better life for our families. Some fleeing political, religious persecution, but all coming here because they believed in the American dream. This idea that if you worked hard you played by the rules, you could build a better life for your family. And not just build a better life for your family, that anything was possible. And you don't have to look much further than the Minnesota legislature to see, in the faces of Senator Hur, in the faces of Representative Jamie Becker-Finn, there's so many people who are living out that possibility, who are lifting up the voices in their communities. Because that is what makes America great. The idea that anything is possible. If you set your heart and your mind to it, and I know many of you as parents in this room try to teach your kids that. But the reality is sometimes it's not always possible, as much as people try. And that's why it's important for organizations like the Hmong Caucus to exist, to continue to push our party to be better, to continue to lift up voices that aren't at the table, to continue to make sure that people are included and involved, and there's a place for people to organize and build power. That's what's great about this caucus, and I'm so excited about working with them in the years to come. You know, we have 375 days until this election. And I don't want to get too political here, but we are at a political event. And I always say, many of you hear this from me when I speak, but I think it's important to always say, we have three commodities in elections. It's people, it's money, and it's time. First, let me thank you for the donations you made to the Hmong Caucus, which will help them organize and build a sustainable organization. And you know, when it comes to people, we can always find a few more people to join our ranks. But the one commodity we can never get back is time. Each day that ticks away is one less day we have to take our country back. One less day we have to put our state back on track. One less day we have to organize. And so I'm asking you tonight to think about this upcoming election. Think about it through the lens of your community. Think about it through the lens of people who came here to build a better life. Think about it through the lens of the people who haven't come here yet, but who are trying to come to this country to build a better life. And think about what you will do to extend that opportunity out to those people who want to build community, those people who want to make a difference. You see, Paul said once that politics is not about big money. It's not about what happens in the halls of the Capitol. It's not about special interests. Politics is about the improvement of people's lives. That's why this is important. That's why supporting this caucus is important. And in 375 days, we have a chance to make a difference, to take our country back. But you know, people say, well, this election isn't that important. And then there's people like me who every election get up and say this is the most important election of your lifetime. But I want you to think about this election and truly ask yourself, if this isn't the most important election of your lifetime, I'm not sure why it isn't. The stakes are high. The stakes are higher than they've ever been. And we need all of you to participate. We need all of you to get your people out, and we need you to get them involved in this caucus so that we can build power for the long term for the Hmong community. And I want to thank Senator Hur for what he's been doing. Senator Hur and Uncle Charles and Paris Vu have been great partners of mine for many years now in helping to build capacity in this community. I should have mentioned Councilwoman Susan Pha over there, who I was so glad to be able to help in her race when she ran for council. And thank you for being here, Susan. But there's so many great leaders we have in this community. What are we going to do to help them? What are we going to do to help them? I want Senator Hur to be in the majority. We need the majority back, and we have 2 seats to do it. But just think about this. If you don't want to think about Trump or the elected officials, I want you to think about what's on the ballot, because I'll tell you what's on the ballot. When kids are being locked up on the border and refugees are being turned away, human rights is on the ballot, my friends. when there are thousands, maybe millions of Americans who don't have access to affordable health care, and their prescription drugs, they have to make a decision about whether or not they're rationing their prescription drugs. I'll tell you what, health care is on the ballot. When we see what's happening in this country, when people are working 2, 3 jobs and still living below the poverty line, they can't get their heads above water, I'll tell you what, economic justice is on the ballot. When we see people turning a blind eye to the fact that our planet is dying right before our eyes and no one is talking or doing anything to really address the climate change that is impacting all of us, climate change and the environment are on the ballot. You can go down the list when we see people passing bills in states throughout the country called heartbeat bills that impact a woman's right to choose. Reproductive rights are on the ballot. When we see the fact that Republicans underfund or don't fund education at all, and we have more children going to school not ready to learn, education is on the ballot. You can go down the list on every single issue. This election's not about Donald Trump. This election's about America. This election's about Minnesota and what type of community and state you want to live in. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of our wonderful elected officials who are here tonight. And thank you to Wang Yu and to Mai Chi for your partnership. They were with us in Philadelphia, and they told me in Philadelphia that they're going to get the first Hmong caucus off the ground. And they're going to make sure that the Hmong community is building power with and through our DFL party. And here we are today. It's a testament to their vision and their work. And thank you, thank you, thank you.